Agentic has saturated data engineering. Most teams using it are simply bolting an AI model to their stack and hoping for the best. The standard baseline right now is taking a generic large language model and giving it tool access to a data platform and asking it to write valid SQL. Look at this terminal interface, a rejected SQL query in bright red text. This is what happens running an unconstrained experiment in production. A generic agent operates completely outside your established access controls. It does not know or respect your role-based governance policies. It also operates blindly regarding your data contracts. It will attempt to reshape schema types and required fields without understanding any downstream dependencies. But true agentic data engineering requires taking that reasoning layer and physically tying it to strict architectural guardrails. We are moving away from a rogue script executing unpredictable commands toward a system that behaves like a reliable team member. The exact objective is a pipeline that detects its own failures and executes safe fixes without waking anyone up at 2 a.m. An agent's value in a data platform is defined entirely by the constraints you place upon it, not by the sophistication of the underlying AI model. To build a safe system, we have to start by establishing physical blockers against unwanted mutations. This diagram illustrates the first pillar, data contracts. We define what a table promises, schema, types, required fields, as rigid code-based rules like a Pydantic model or JSON schema. When the agent proposes any schema or type change, this contract automatically validates the request against the hard-coded parameters. If a violation occurs, we trigger an automated fallback. The system halts the change entirely and flags it for human review. Once we have constrained the schema, we implement the second pillar, the semantic layer. Letting an agent write raw, improvised SQL against arbitrary tables is where pipelines break. Instead, we replace ad hoc queries with named, governed metrics. The agent is forced to request verified data points. Together, these two pillars ensure that an agent cannot quietly corrupt or reshape the data platform underneath you. With the boundary walls in place to block rogue actions, we need a mechanism to efficiently trigger the necessary ones. This is Pillar 3, metadata feedback. Every single pipeline run logs specific telemetry, including start times, row counts, test results, and error types. We place rules and anomaly checks on top of this metadata to act as tripwires. By relying on a trigger mechanism, the agent stays dormant until needed. This prevents it from running expensive constant monitoring loops. Let's apply this to a concrete, real-world scenario, an orders daily snapshot feeding your revenue dashboards. First, you establish the specific contract definitions required for the snapshot, verifying fields like order ID, order date, and gross amount. Then, you define the semantic layer on top of it, surfacing verified metrics like a 7-day revenue count. When an anomaly trips the wire, the agent executes an exact operational flow. It reads the telemetry, checks the snapshot contract, and selects a governed tool to respond. You strictly define the permitted tools. The agent can fetch logs, trigger a retry, or open a ticket. Without telemetry, an agent is blind. By piping in structured metadata, it becomes a highly targeted triage specialist. We still need a final safety mechanism to mathematically determine when an agent is actually allowed to push a fix directly to production. We do this through deterministic risk tiering. This vertical scale categorizes all possible agent actions. We start with the low-risk tier. This captures simple actions like retrying after a transient network error or rerunning a known batch. Because the blast radius is negligible, low-risk actions are permitted to be fully automated and logged without human intervention. The medium-risk tier covers actions like adding a non-breaking column or tuning a timeout. Medium-risk actions cannot execute as silent changes. They must generate a pull request for a human engineer to review. The high-risk tier captures anything that touches the data contract, breaks schemas, or rewrites large SQL blocks. In this top tier, explicit human approval is an absolute mandate. The agent is blocked, regardless of how confident it claims to be about the fix. Risk tiering is the mechanism that takes an unpredictable reasoning engine and transforms it into a deterministic operational tool. To support this architecture, you need the right platform foundation, specifically zero ETL and data mirroring. Replicating operational data directly into your lakehouse eliminates custom extraction plumbing. That frees up your engineering time to actually build the reliability logic and risk tiers. If your current stack is entirely batch, Airflow, and dbt, do not attempt to agentify the legacy system all at once. Your starting point is exact. Isolate a single critical pipeline. For that one pipeline, write the data contract, instrument the telemetry, and define the semantic model. Then you deploy a small, narrowly scoped agent that is strictly limited to handling failure triage and simple retries. The rule of scale is that you only expand this operational pattern to other pipelines once it has earned your trust in production. When properly implemented, agents absorb the repetitive triage. This keeps data engineers focused on architecture, modeling, and governance. For the complete build, including the contract examples and semantic model setups, check out the step-by-step walkthrough on the site. And if you are making a platform migration decision, watch the Fabric versus Azure Synapse video next to see what this tooling looks like in those specific environments. Strict engineering discipline, implemented incrementally, is the only way to turn AI hype into production reality.